What would you do if your body was a prison? If every nerve was on fire, every second of every day? If you had an urge so powerful it drove you to the edge of madness, but no matter what you did, no matter how many times you tried, you could never, ever feel satisfied? That was Choi Sang-woo's curse. And tonight, it was killing him. The penthouse reeked of expensive perfume and failure. Seoul's skyline glittered beyond floor-to-ceiling windows, $40 million of real estate, and it might as well have been a coffin. Sang-woo sat on the edge of his king-sized bed, knuckles white against silk sheets that cost more than most people's monthly rent. Behind him, two women lay unconscious. Exhausted. Spent. 5 hours they'd tried to satisfy him. 5 hours. And he felt nothing. The same burning emptiness clawing at his chest. The same maddening pressure behind his eyes, like his skull was slowly being crushed from the inside. The same urge crawling under his skin like fire ants, demanding something, screaming for something, but his body couldn't name it and couldn't find it. 10 years of this hell. 10 years of doctors who couldn't diagnose him, medications that turned him into a zombie, specialists across 5 countries who looked at him like a broken machine they couldn't fix. 10 years of burning alive from the inside. Get them out, he growled. His underboss, Kwon Dae-young, stood by the door with his usual impassive expression. He snapped his fingers. 2 bodyguards entered silently, lifting the sleeping women, carrying them away like discarded props. The moment the door closed, Sang-woo's control shattered. He swept everything off his nightstand, a lamp worth more than most people's cars, crystal decanters filled with whiskey older than him, his phone, watching them explode against marble. Glass shattered. Amber liquid pooled like blood. But destruction brought no relief. Nothing ever did. The same? Kwon asked quietly. Worse. Sang-woo pressed his palms against his eyes, trying to push the pressure back, trying to hold himself together. At the meeting today, I almost shot Min-suk. The sound of his breathing, just his breathing, Kwon, made me want to tear off my own skin. Kwon's jaw tightened. They both understood what this meant. The Dragon of Gangnam, the most feared Mafia boss in Seoul, the man who'd built an empire from nothing, who'd killed rivals with his bare hands, who made grown men tremble with a look, was losing his mind. And in their world, madness meant death. Your brother called again, Kwon said carefully. He wants you to try that new facility. One more chance. I've tried everything. Sang-woo roared, spinning around. His reflection in the window looked like a stranger, gaunt, wild-eyed, barely human. Doctors. Shamans. Medications. Therapists who look at me like I'm a monster. Nothing works. No one can fix me because no one even knows what's wrong with me. His voice cracked on the last word. Kwon said nothing. There was nothing to say. Sang-woo turned back to the window, staring at the city he controlled, the empire he'd built, the kingdom that meant nothing because he couldn't enjoy a single moment of it. 34 years old. More money than he could spend in 10 lifetimes. More power than most men dreamed of. And he would trade all of it, every one, every territory, every ounce of fear and respect, for one moment of peace. Fine, he said finally, his voice dead. One more try. But this is the last time, Kwon. If this doesn't work. He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. But here's what Sang-woo didn't know. 6,000 miles away, a woman was packing her bags. A woman with a gift she didn't fully understand, a gift passed down from her grandmother, who'd healed people that medicine couldn't touch. She was coming to Seoul. And the moment their eyes met, everything would change. His curse. Her fate. And a love so powerful it would make him whole, or destroy them both. This is a story about a man who couldn't be satisfied and the woman who became his cure. About jealousy that destroys and love that heals across every boundary. If you're new here, subscribe now and turn on notifications, because once this story starts, you won't want to miss a single moment. Let's begin. Alma Mensa had made a promise to a dying woman. Her grandmother's hands had been cold, but her grip was iron. You have the gift, child. The sight. You'll meet someone the world has given up on. And you'll see what no one else can see. Alma touched the small talisman beneath her navy scrubs, her grandmother's last gift, and pushed through the doors of Yongsan Medical and Psychiatric Institute. Her first day. Seoul's most prestigious facility for the wealthy and powerful. And already, Dr. Han Mi-young was making it clear she didn't belong. Our clientele is particular, Dr. Han said, her smile not reaching her eyes. High class. Korean. They have certain expectations about their care providers. Alma held her gaze. Pain doesn't check passports, Dr. Han. Neither does healing. Something flickered in the doctor's expression. Irritation. Or perhaps recognition of a threat. We'll see. Your first patient arrives this afternoon. Dr. Han's smile sharpened. He's destroyed every nurse we've assigned to him. Physically. Mentally. We've run out of volunteers. She paused at the door. Try not to break on your first day. You're the one assigned to him. Alma turned. A pretty Korean nurse stood in the break room doorway, eyes wide with something between awe and concern. Yoonji Park. She rushed forward, taking Alma's hands. Oh, Yooni, you have no idea what you're walking into. The Dragon of Gangnam, he's not just a patient. He's a legend. The most powerful man in Seoul's underworld. He's still just a man with a medical condition. Yoonji laughed, a little too bright. You really are new here. Come on, I'll walk you up. Consider it, moral support. But at the door to the private suite, Dr. Han stopped Yoonji cold. Nurse Mensa only. Mr. Choi's orders. For a split second, so fast Alma almost missed it, something dark crossed Yoonji's face. Then the warm smile returned. Good luck, Yooni. You're going to do amazing. Alma nodded and stepped inside. She didn't see Yoonji's smile fade the moment the door closed. She didn't see the way Yoonji's nails dug crescents into her own palms. She didn't know that Yoonji had been requesting this assignment for 2 years, and had been denied every single time. 4 bodyguards flanked the entrance. Inside, the suite looked like a 5-star hotel had swallowed a hospital room. And there, standing by floor-to-ceiling windows, was Choi Sang-woo. Alma had prepared herself. She'd read the file. She knew he was wealthy, powerful, dangerous. She hadn't prepared for the pain. It radiated off him like heat from a furnace. The tension in his shoulders. The white-knuckle grip on the windowsill. The way he stood perfectly still, as if moving might shatter him. This wasn't a crime lord. This was a man being eaten alive from the inside. Mr. Choi, I'm Nurse Mensa. I'll be. He turned. Their eyes met. And the room went silent. Not quiet, silent. The way the world goes silent before an earthquake. Alma felt the hairs on her arms rise. Felt something ancient stir in her chest, in the place where her grandmother had said the gift lived. Sang-woo's expression shifted. Confusion. Then something like fear. What did you do? I introduced myself. He moved toward her. Not threatening, searching. Circling her slowly like she was an equation he couldn't solve. Alma stood still, pulse racing, unsure if she was in danger. Don't move. His voice was hoarse. Just, don't move. He stopped in front of her. Close enough that she could see the exhaustion carved into his features. Close enough to see his hands trembling. Take my blood pressure. Alma reached for his wrist. The moment her fingers touched his skin, Sang-woo inhaled sharply, and tears spilled down his cheeks. Not from sadness. From relief. The fire that had burned under his skin for 10 years, flickered. And for 3 perfect seconds, Choi Sang-woo felt nothing but peace. Impossible, he whispered, staring at her like she'd performed a miracle. What are you? Alma's professional training warred with the strangeness of the moment. I'm just a nurse, Mr. Choi. Your blood pressure is elevated but not dangerous. I need your complete medical history. Dr. Han's files are incomplete. Sit. He gestured to the leather chair, his voice different now. Softer. Almost desperate. I'll tell you everything. Just, stay. For the next hour, Sang-woo told her what he'd never fully told anyone. The condition that started when he was 24, a curse without a name. The endless, burning urge that no encounter could satisfy. The physical pain, migraines that blinded him, muscle tension that felt like his bones were trying to escape his body, nerves scraped raw by existing. The violence it caused. The instability. The fear that one day he'd lose control completely and destroy everything, including himself. I've seen specialists in 5 countries, he said quietly. I've tried medications that turned me into a walking corpse. Nothing works. No one can help me. He looked at her with an expression she couldn't quite read. But just now, when you touched me, the screaming stopped. For the first time in 10 years, I felt quiet. Alma's mind raced. Her training offered no explanation. But her grandmother's voice echoed in her memory. Some conditions aren't purely physical. They're imbalances of the spirit. The body searching for something it can't articulate. In my culture, Alma said carefully, we believe that some ailments can't be cured by medicine alone. Your body might be searching for something it doesn't know how to name. You think I'm cursed? I think you're suffering. And I think, she hesitated. I think we can help you. But you have to trust me. Sang-woo looked down at where her hand rested on his sleeve. The touch didn't ignite the usual manic urge. Instead, it grounded him. Calmed him. Made him feel almost human. I don't trust anyone, he said. But for you. I'll try. Those words would save him. Those same words would nearly destroy them both. Subscribe now so you don't miss what happens next, because someone is already watching. And they'll do anything to tear them apart. Sang-woo invented symptoms. I'm experiencing chest tightness. I need monitoring. Alma pressed the stethoscope to his chest, frowning. Your heart sounds perfect, Mr. Choi. Check again. Thoroughly. She caught the ghost of a smile on his face and felt heat rise to her cheeks. You're wasting medical resources. I'm paying enough to buy this hospital. I'll waste what I want. But when she turned to leave, his voice dropped. Vulnerable. Real. Please. Just, stay a little longer. Tell me about Ghana. Alma looked up from her charts. Sang-woo sat by the window, not looking at her, but she could feel his attention like a physical weight. Why? Because when you talk, the screaming in my head stops. She should have maintained professional distance. Instead, she sat beside him and talked about Accra. About her father's clinic where he treated patients who couldn't afford the big hospitals. About her grandmother who'd been a traditional healer, respected throughout their village. About the food she missed, jollof rice, kelaweel, her mother's groundnut soup. Sang-woo listened like every word was oxygen. You're homesick, he said finally. Sometimes. I could fix that. I could bring your whole family here. Whatever you need. Alma shook her head, smiling. You can't buy away homesickness, Mr. Choi. Sang-woo. What? Call me Sang-woo. Something softened in his eyes. Mr. Choi makes me feel like my father. Your cortisol levels have dropped 40%. Alma showed him the results, professional pride mixing with something warmer. Whatever we're doing is working. Sang-woo said nothing. But they both knew the truth. It wasn't the facility. It wasn't Dr. Han's treatment plan. It was her. Her presence. Her voice. The way her touch grounded him in a body that had felt like a prison for 10 years. Kwon had noticed the change. You haven't had an episode in almost a month, Hyungnim. This is unprecedented. Don't jinx it, Sang-woo had replied. But hope, a feeling he'd thought dead, had started growing in his chest. Now, during what was supposed to be a routine checkup, he made his move. Have dinner with me. Alma's pen stopped mid-note. Excuse me? Not here. My penthouse. Just dinner. He finally met her eyes, and the loneliness there made her chest ache. I don't want you as my nurse, Alma. I want to know you. The real you. That's completely inappropriate. You're my patient. Then discharge me. The words hung in the air. A challenge. An offering. Alma's professionalism warred with something deeper. Something she'd felt since the first moment their eyes met. I'll think about it. Sang-woo smiled, the first real smile she'd ever seen from him. That's not a no. Meanwhile, Yoonji watched from the observation room. She'd been watching for 3 weeks. And the jealousy had stopped being a whisper. You're troubled, Yoonji. Yoonji didn't turn. She'd felt Dr. Han approach. Her aunt always moved like a predator. It's nothing, Imo. It's not nothing. Dr. Han appeared beside her, watching Alma's retreating form through the one-way glass. You've worked here for 2 years. You're beautiful. Educated. Korean. But he looks at her like she's the only woman in the world. Yoonji's reflection in the glass looked like a stranger. Hard. Hungry. What do you want, child? I want what she has. Dr. Han smiled. And in that smile was something ancient and patient and cruel. Then let's take it. She didn't explain how. She didn't need to. Whatever was coming, Alma wouldn't see it until it was far, far too late. The dinner changed everything. Sang-woo's penthouse was stunning but somehow warm, a mix of modern luxury and traditional Korean elements. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Seoul's glittering skyline. Art that probably cost more than her entire education. But what made Alma's breath catch wasn't the luxury. It was the dining table. Jollof rice. Fried plantains. Groundnut soup. Grilled tilapia with Shido sauce. Ghanaian food. All of it. You did this for me? Sang-woo shrugged, but she could see he was nervous. The most feared Mafia boss in Seoul, nervous. I wanted you to feel at home. They talked for hours. Sang-woo told her about his brother Jae-hwan, the only family he had left. About building his empire from nothing after their parents died, his father murdered by rivals, his mother from grief 6 months later. About the loneliness of being feared rather than known. Everyone sees the dragon, he said quietly. The boss. The monster. No one sees me. I see you, Alma said. I saw you the first moment in that hospital room. Not the dragon. Just a man in tremendous pain who'd forgotten what peace felt like. He looked at her with something raw and vulnerable in his eyes. I've done terrible things, Alma. I'm not a good man. You're a man who's been in pain, she corrected gently. There's a difference. When he kissed her, it was tentative and gentle, nothing like the fearsome crime lord reputation. Alma felt the rightness of it in her bones. And when the kiss deepened, when they moved to his bedroom, when they made love with a tenderness that shocked them both, Sang-woo experienced something he'd never felt in his entire adult life. Satisfaction. Completion. Peace. He woke with Alma in his arms, the chronic urge completely absent for the first time in a decade. No pain. No manic desperation. Just contentment. You cured me, he whispered against her hair. Maybe you were never broken, she whispered back. Maybe you were just waiting for the right person. Sang-woo's announcement to his syndicate was characteristically direct. He gathered his captains in the private room of his restaurant, the same room where he'd ordered deaths, negotiated territories, built his empire. Alma Mensa is under my protection. She's mine. Anyone who looks at her wrong answers to me. Anyone who disrespects her doesn't walk away. Am I clear? The implications were unmistakable. The dragon of Gangnam had claimed a woman, a foreign woman, an African woman, as his future wife. Seoul's underworld buzzed with shock and speculation. But Sang-woo didn't care. For the first time in years, he could think clearly, lead effectively, be the boss his organization needed. All because of her. He courted Alma properly despite already knowing her body. Learned Shui phrases to make her laugh. Attended church with her even though religion had never interested him. Met with Ghanaian community leaders in Itaewon to understand her culture. You're really serious about her, Kwon observed one evening, watching Sang-woo review engagement rings with a private jeweler. She saved my life. Gave me peace I thought was impossible. Sang-woo held up a ring that blended Korean and Ghanaian design elements. I'm going to marry her, Kwon. Soon. Alma shared her joy with Yoonji, not seeing the forced quality of her friend's smile. He proposed. Well, he's planning to propose officially at a party next week. Yoonji, I never imagined I'd find this here. I came for my career, and I found everything. I'm so happy for you, Yooni. Yoonji hugged her tight. You deserve everything. Her nails dug into Alma's back just a little too hard. But Alma didn't notice. She was too happy to notice anything. The engagement party was everything Alma never knew she wanted. Sang-woo had blended Korean and Ghanaian traditions in ways that made her chest ache. Kent cloth patterns woven into the decorations. Jollof rice served alongside Korean barbecue. A DJ playing Afrobeats that made the older Korean guests look confused and delighted. Alma wore a custom gown that incorporated Kent cloth into a modern Korean silhouette. She looked like royalty, felt like royalty, with Sang-woo's hand warm on her waist. I love you, he murmured against her ear. My miracle. My cure. I love you too. Guests mingled. Champagne flowed. The cream of Seoul's underworld and high society mixed in an uneasy but respectful truce. Neither Sang-woo nor Alma noticed Dr. Han's careful movements through the crowd. Neither of them saw her slip something into a glass. Neither of them noticed when that glass was placed directly in Sang-woo's path. The first warning was the heat. Sang-woo felt it bloom in his chest while greeting a business associate, that familiar, terrible warmth that meant the fire was returning. No. Not possible. I'm cured. But the heat spread. Into his limbs. Under his skin. Behind his eyes. The sound of the party became overwhelming. Every voice, every laugh, every clink of glass scraped against his nerves like broken glass. Sang-woo? Alma touched his arm, concern crossing her features. You look pale. Are you feeling all right? He couldn't answer. The urge was roaring back, worse than before, faster than before. Like a dam breaking. Like fire consuming everything in its path. No. No. Not now. Not here. A woman in a red dress walked past. And something in his brain snapped. He grabbed her wrist before he knew he was moving. Pulled her close. The woman gasped. Nearby guests froze in shock. Sang-woo. Alma rushed toward him. Let her go. What's happening to you? But when he looked at Alma, the woman who'd been his peace, his cure, his everything, he felt nothing. Worse than nothing. He felt suspicion. Why isn't she calming me? She always calms me. Unless it was never real. Unless she was doing something to me all along. Get away from me. He shoved her. Hard. Watched her stumble backward into a table of glasses that shattered around her. Sang-woo, please, Alma reached for him, tears streaming down her face. Don't touch me. Then Kwon was there, and other men, grabbing his arms, forcing him down. Sang-woo fought them with terrifying strength, the veins in his neck bulging, his eyes wild and unfocused. The last thing he saw before they dragged him away was Alma's face. Not angry. Not afraid. Just heartbroken. Sang-woo woke hours later in his locked bedroom, the drug finally wearing off. The memories came back in sickening waves, grabbing that woman, shoving Alma, losing control in front of everyone. His hands were raw from fighting his own men. His throat was hoarse from screaming. What happened? What did I do? Kwon explained grimly. The party had devolved into chaos. Guests had fled. The news was already spreading through Seoul's underworld. The dragon had lost control. Was unstable. Was vulnerable. Sang-woo felt his world collapsing. He'd been so sure he was cured. So certain that Alma had fixed him. But the monster was still there, waiting. A knock at the door. Dr. Han entered with Yoonji, her expression grave and professional. Mr. Choi, I need to speak with you about Nurse Mensa's treatment protocol. She laid out the evidence with devastating precision. Medication logs bearing Alma's signature. Drugs that could cause dependency and rebound effects, the exact symptoms he'd experienced tonight. Documented doses that increased over time, creating reliance. Testimony from Yoonji about Alma's alleged comments about securing her future with a wealthy man. She was manipulating you, Dr. Han said softly. Creating a pharmaceutical dependency to make herself indispensable. Making you believe you needed her, making you believe you loved her, while she drugged you into compliance. Sang-woo stared at the documents. His hands wouldn't stop shaking. Tonight, something went wrong with the dosage. You weren't supposed to have such a violent reaction. Dr. Han's voice dripped with sympathy. Mr. Choi, this could have killed you. The paranoia from the drug still lingered in his system. His worst fears, that Alma's care had been calculated, that her love was transactional, seemed suddenly, horribly plausible. Everyone betrays you eventually. Everyone wants something. Why would she be any different? Bring her here, he ordered. His voice was dead. Alma entered still wearing her torn party dress. Mascara streaked down her cheeks. But the moment she saw Sang-woo, she rushed toward him. You need a full medical evaluation. Something triggered your condition, something external. We need to run blood panels, check for. What did you give me? His voice stopped her cold. What? What did you give me? He stood, and the man facing her wasn't the gentle lover who'd held her just hours ago. This was the dragon of Gangnam. Cold. Brutal. Deadly. I didn't give you anything outside your prescribed. He threw the falsified documents at her feet. Explain these. Alma picked them up. Her confusion turned to horror as she read. This isn't. I never signed these. I never administered these medications. Sang-woo, this is fake. Someone forged my signature. You made me believe I was cured. His voice cracked despite his efforts to stay cold. You made me believe you loved me. You made me think I could be normal, be happy. I do love you. I would never. Love? He laughed, bitter and broken. You saw a desperate, wealthy man with a condition no one could treat, and you exploited him. Created a dependency so I'd need you. So I'd marry you. So you could secure your future. No. Alma's tears flowed freely. Please, listen to me. Let me investigate these documents. Let me prove my innocence. Sang-woo, please. But the Mafia boss had fully re-emerged, cold and brutal, all vulnerability locked away behind walls of ice. You have 24 hours to leave Seoul. If you're still here after that, my protection is gone. His eyes were dead as he looked at her. And this city is very dangerous for people who cross me. Look at me. Alma stepped toward him despite the guards. Look me in the eyes and tell me you believe I could hurt you. Sang-woo looked. And she saw the moment he chose to believe the lie. That's your gift, isn't it? His voice was hollow, making men believe. Something in Amma's heart didn't break, it died. Get her out of my sight, he told Kwon. As Amma was dragged away, sobbing, Yoonji stepped forward with perfect timing. I'm so sorry, Mr. Choi. I tried to warn her to be honest with you. I told her this would only end badly, but she wouldn't listen. She placed a gentle hand on his arm. If there's anything I can do to help you through this. Sang-woo barely heard her. He was watching Amma disappear through the door, something in his chest screaming that this was wrong, that he was making the worst mistake of his life. He ignored it. He'd trusted before, and look where it got him. Never again. How did they turn his cure into his poison? Will Amma survive what comes next? And will Sang-woo discover the truth before it's too late? Keep watching, because the war for his soul is just beginning. Amma lost everything in 24 hours. Her job, terminated for ethical violations. Her reputation, destroyed by whispers that spread through Seoul's medical community like wildfire. Her visa, under review, her work permits suspended pending investigation. The Korean medical community closed ranks against her. The African nurse who tried to trap the Mafia boss. They said it with disgust, with pity, with satisfaction, as if they'd always known she didn't belong. Her landlord evicted her. Former colleagues wouldn't return her calls. The friends she'd made in Seoul suddenly couldn't remember her number. Amma survived on the kindness of a Ghanaian family in Itaewon who'd heard her story and refused to believe the official version. You can stay as long as you need, sister, the mother said, pressing food into her hands. We look after our own. And we know lies when we hear them. Amma couldn't afford to cry. Crying meant stopping. Stopping meant giving up. So instead, she worked. Borrowed laptop. Cramped apartment. 18-hour days documenting everything. There had to be proof she was innocent. There had to be. Meanwhile, the dragon of Gangnam was dying. Not quickly, slowly. The condition returned with a vengeance, worse than before. Because now he knew what peace felt like. And he destroyed it with his own hands. Sang-woo cycled through women desperately, trying to recreate what he'd had with Amma. Nothing worked. Models. Actresses. Escorts who specialized in wealthy clients. None of them quieted the screaming in his head. None of them made the fire stop. Some left crying. Some left afraid. All left dissatisfied. The urge consumed him, making him volatile and dangerous. His syndicate operation suffered. He took unnecessary risks, nearly starting a gang war over a minor territorial slight. Made aggressive moves that worried his advisors. You're going to get yourself killed, Kwon said after Sang-woo barely survived an ambush he should have seen coming. Maybe that's better than this. Yoonji came to him. Wore her prettiest clothes. Spoke in her softest voice. Touched his arm the way Amma used to. He felt nothing. Perhaps with time, Dr. Han suggested during a follow-up consultation. Yoonji could provide the stability you need. She's loyal. She's honest. She genuinely cares about your well-being. Sang-woo looked at Yoonji's hopeful face and felt only revulsion. At her, at himself, at the universe that had shown him salvation just to snatch it away. Leave. Both of you. Alone in his penthouse, Sang-woo stared at photos of Amma on his phone. Her smile at the restaurant in Itaewon. Her face glowing in the morning light in his bed. The look she'd given him when she said yes to the ring he'd shown her. His finger hovered over delete. He never pressed it. Some nights, he replayed their last conversation. The conviction in her voice. The genuine shock in her eyes when she'd seen the documents. This is fake. Someone forged my signature. Was it possible? He pushed the thought away. He couldn't afford doubt. Doubt was weakness. Doubt got you killed. But at 3 a.m., when the urge clawed at him and no amount of violence or sex could quiet it, Sang-woo wondered if he'd made the worst mistake of his life. The first crack in the lie came on a Tuesday at 3 a.m. Alma's eyes were burning from hours of reviewing documents, cross-referencing timestamps, building her case piece by piece. Then she found it. A medication log showing her signature on a treatment administered on April 15 at 2:30 p.m. But on April 15 at 2:30 p.m., Alma had been at a nursing conference in Busan. She had photos. She had flight records. She had the conference attendance sheet with her signature, her real signature. Someone forged my signature, she breathed, energy surging through her exhausted body. She dug deeper. Found more inconsistencies. A treatment on April 22, when she'd been off duty with documented food poisoning. Another on April 28, when security footage would show her nowhere near Sangwoo's wing of the facility. The frame job was good, but not perfect. Now she just needed someone who would listen. The knock came on a rainy Thursday evening. Alma opened the door to find a young Korean man in an expensive coat, rain dripping from his hair. He looked like Sangwoo, same jawline, same intense eyes, but softer somehow. Kinder. Before you scream or slam the door, I'm not here to hurt you. He held up his hands. My name is Jae-hwan. Choi Jae-hwan. I'm Sangwoo's brother. Alma's heart hammered. Did he send you? No. He doesn't know I'm here. Jae-hwan's expression was pained. I'm here because my brother is destroying himself and I don't believe you did what they said. Why? He was quiet for a moment. Because I've seen women try to manipulate my brother. They look at his money, his power, what he can give them. They don't look at him. He met her eyes. You looked at him like he was just a person. Like you actually saw him. Women who want to trap men don't look at them like that. Alma's eyes welled with tears she'd forbidden herself to shed. I loved him. I still love him. And someone destroyed us. Come in, I'll show you what I've found. For hours, they reviewed her evidence together. Jae-hwan's expression darkened as he recognized the implications. If you're telling the truth, someone went to extraordinary lengths to frame you, he said. Who benefits from you being gone? I don't know. I'm just a nurse. I have no enemies. But my brother does. Jae-hwan's jaw tightened. And whoever did this knew exactly how to hurt him. Knew his condition, knew his vulnerabilities, knew how to trigger him and make him turn against you. Someone inside the facility. Someone with access to medical records. To medication. To him. Jae-hwan pulled out his phone. I have contacts who can dig deeper. Financial records. Communications. If someone was paid to do this, there'll be a trail. Why are you helping me? Jae-hwan was quiet for a long moment. Because when Sangwoo was with you, he was happy. Actually happy, something I haven't seen since we were children. His voice was rough. And now I watch him destroy himself a little more every day. If there's any chance you were innocent, if there's any chance of bringing him back, I'll take it. The investigation took weeks. They discovered Dr. Han's history first, a pattern of exploiting wealthy patients at previous facilities, using information against them, extracting payments for silence. She'd been quietly pushed out of 3 hospitals before landing at Yongsan. Then they found the financial records. A large payment to Dr. Han's private account, made 3 days before the engagement party. The payment came from a shell company that traced back to Park Min-suk, leader of the Jade Tiger Syndicate. Sangwoo's most dangerous rival. They paid her to destabilize him, Jae-hwan said, staring at the documents. To take away the one thing that was making him strong. This was a coordinated attack. And Yoonji? More digging. More records. Yoonji's family connection to Dr. Han, she was her niece. The 2-year pattern of Yoonji trying to get close to wealthy patients. Her previous failed attempts to attract Sangwoo's attention. She wasn't in on the rival syndicate part, Jae-hwan concluded. She was just jealous. Dr. Han used that jealousy as a tool. Alma stared at the evidence, proof of her innocence laid out in documents and records and financial trails. We need to tell him. He won't listen to you. Not yet. Jae-hwan was already planning. But he'll listen to evidence. And I know exactly when to present it for maximum impact. Dr. Han had orchestrated the press conference perfectly. All the major media outlets. Representatives from Seoul's elite medical community. The most powerful figures in the underworld, gathered to witness the Dragon of Gangnam endorse her facility. Sang-woo stood beside Yoonji, positioned as his personal recovery specialist. The implication was clear, she was being introduced as his future partner. Yoonji glowed with triumph. Everything she'd wanted for 2 years was finally within reach. Dr. Han stepped to the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. It is my honor to announce a new partnership between Yongsan Medical and Psychiatric Institute and Dr. Han. Kwan's voice cut through the room. He walked directly to Sang-woo, holding a tablet, his expression grave. You need to see this. Now. Sang-woo's brow furrowed. He took the tablet. On the screen, security footage. Financial records. Pharmaceutical receipts. And Alma's voice, recorded testimony. The medication logs show my signature on April 15th. But I was in Busan on April 15th. Here's my flight record. Here's conference attendance. Here's hotel security footage. Someone forged my signature. Someone framed me. Sang-woo's hands began to shake. And here's the bank transfer. Made 3 days before the engagement party. To Dr. Han's private account. From a company owned by Park Min-suk, leader of the Jade Tiger Syndicate. The room was silent. Dr. Han's face drained of color. Sang-woo looked up from the tablet. His eyes found Dr. Han's, and the temperature in the room seemed to drop 20 degrees. Continue the presentation, he said quietly. I want everyone to hear this. He connected the tablet to the main screens. The evidence played for everyone, the forgeries, the security footage proving Alma's innocence, the financial payment from his rivals, the pharmaceutical compound traced to Dr. Han's private pharmacy. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. The assembled crime lords understood immediately what they were seeing. Betrayal. Treason. An assassination attempt by a rival syndicate, enabled by a woman they trusted. You were paid by my enemies, Sang-woo said, his voice deadly calm. To poison me. To destroy my relationship. To make me unstable so I could be removed. He stepped toward Dr. Han. That's treason against the syndicate. That's attempted assassination. Mr. Choi, please, Dr. Han stepped backward, but there was nowhere to go. I can explain. There is no explanation. Sang-woo's voice was ice. You know what happens to traitors. He turned to Yoonji, who had started crying, mascara running down her perfect face, her carefully constructed world collapsing around her. And you. You participated in destroying an innocent woman's life. Because of jealousy. I didn't know about the rivals. Yoonji screamed. I didn't know about the payment. I just wanted you. She had everything, your love, your attention, your peace, and I'd been waiting for years. It wasn't fair. Fair? Sang-woo's laugh was hollow. You destroyed my happiness because it wasn't fair? You helped ruin the only person who ever gave me peace because you were jealous? He looked at her with something like pity. You were never going to have me, Yoonji. You could never be her. You don't have whatever she has, that thing that quieted the monster inside me. All you have is ambition and jealousy and a pretty face. He shook his head. And now you don't even have that. Your career is over. Your reputation is destroyed. Live with what you've done. He signaled his men. Take Dr. Han. She knows what happens to traitors. Dr. Han didn't scream as they dragged her away. She knew it was pointless. Yoonji collapsed to her knees, sobbing. No one moved to help her. But Sang-woo was already gone, running for the door, running for his car, running for the only person who mattered. Find her. Find her. Find her. The Ghanaian family's home in Itaewon was modest but warm. Alma was packing her suitcase. Her visa had expired. Her options had run out. Tomorrow she'd fly back to Accra, back to her father, back to starting over, back to pretending her heart wasn't shattered. She folded clothes mechanically. Tried not to think about what she was leaving behind. It was raining when the knock came. She almost didn't answer. Probably a neighbor, probably nothing important, probably. She opened the door. Sang-woo stood there. Rain-soaked. Shaking. Looking at her like she was the last hope on earth. Neither of them spoke for a long moment. Rain poured down around them. Seoul's neon lights reflected in puddles on the street. Then Sang-woo dropped to his knees in the doorway. I'm sorry. The words came out cracked and broken. God, Alma, I'm sorry. I should have believed you. I should have trusted you. I should have protected you. I failed you in every way possible. Alma stared down at him. The most powerful man in Seoul. The dragon of Gangnam. On his knees in the rain, destroyed by his own choices. And she felt nothing. Or rather, too much. Anger. Grief. Love. Betrayal. All tangled together into something she couldn't untangle. You believed I could hurt you. Her voice was flat. Dead. After everything we shared. After I gave you everything I had. You believed I would manipulate you. I know. I was wrong. You threw me away. Tears spilled down her cheeks. When I needed you most, you threw me away like garbage. I lost everything. My job. My reputation. My visa. I had nowhere to go, no one to turn to. The man I loved told me I was a liar and threw me to the wolves. I'll make it right. Whatever it takes. You can't. Her voice broke. You can't make it right. I believed in you. I believed in us. I thought we were different. I thought you saw me, the real me, not just. She couldn't continue. You're right, Sang-woo said quietly. He stayed on his knees, rain streaming down his face. Maybe tears too, she couldn't tell. I have no excuse. I've been betrayed so many times that I couldn't believe love was real. That's my failure. Not yours. The first moment things got hard, you abandoned me. How can I ever trust that you won't do it again? I don't know. His voice was raw with honesty. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it. I'm asking for a chance to earn it. However long it takes. Whatever it costs. I'll prove I'm worthy of you. I'll spend the rest of my life proving it. What if you can't? What if you fail again? Then at least I'll die trying. He reached for her hand, not grabbing, not demanding, just offering. Because living without you isn't living, Alma. It's just existing. The screaming is back. The fire is back. Worse than ever, because now I know what I lost. His voice dropped to a whisper. You're my cure. But more than that, you're my heart. And I broke my own heart when I broke yours. Alma looked at him for a long moment. The man who'd given up his pride. The crime lord on his knees. The broken person she'd once seen beyond the surface, before everything went wrong. Her grandmother's voice echoed in her memory. You'll meet someone the world has given up on. And you'll see what no one else can see. She hadn't given up on him. Even after everything, she hadn't given up. I don't forgive you, she said finally. I know. I don't know if I can ever forgive you. I know. I'm still angry. I'm still hurt. Her voice cracked. I still don't know if I can trust you. I know. She reached down, took his hand, pulled him up off his knees. But I'm not ready to give up on you yet. She pulled him inside, out of the rain. Not forgiveness yet, but the possibility of it. And sometimes, possibility is enough to start. 6 months of proving. Sang-woo didn't just apologize, he worked. He flew Alma's family to Seoul. Sat with her father for hours, answering every question, accepting every rebuke. Her father had looked at him with disappointment that cut deeper than any knife. You hurt my daughter. You believed lies about her. Why should I trust you with her heart? You shouldn't, Sang-woo had answered. But I'm asking you to let me prove I've changed. However long it takes. Her mother had been harder to win over. But Sang-woo's halting attempts at Chui, practiced for months in secret, made her laugh despite herself. He's trying, she told Alma later. He's really trying. I know, Mama. I just don't know if trying is enough. Sang-woo went to therapy. Real therapy, not the luxury facility nonsense, but a trauma specialist who didn't care about his reputation or his money. Someone who challenged him, pushed him, made him face the betrayals that had calcified his heart. You don't trust because trusting has hurt you, the therapist said. But you also chose distrust over evidence. You chose your fear over her love. I know. Why? Sang-woo was quiet for a long moment. Because being betrayed by her would have destroyed me. And some part of me believed I didn't deserve to be loved. So when the evidence appeared, it confirmed what I already believed, that good things don't happen to me. That love is a trap. And now? Now I'm trying to believe I can be better. That I can be someone she can trust. He restored her reputation personally. Every medical board. Every facility that had blacklisted her. Every colleague who'd shunned her. Sang-woo sat in offices and meeting rooms, laying out the evidence, demanding retractions and apologies. Some were intimidated by his reputation. Some were moved by his obvious remorse. All of them listened. Nurse Mensa was the victim of a coordinated attack on my organization, he told the Korean Medical Association. She was framed by criminals and betrayed by jealous colleagues. Her record should be cleared. Her reputation should be restored. And I am personally guaranteeing that anyone who continues to slander her will answer to me. Within 2 months, Alma had her license back. Within 4, she had job offers from 3 top facilities. You didn't have to do all that, she told him over dinner, their first dinner in months where she felt something other than pain. Yes, I did. I destroyed your career. The least I can do is rebuild it. Sang-woo. I know I can't undo what I did. But I can try to make it right. Every day. For the rest of my life. They took things slowly. No pressure. No expectations. Just 2 people learning to trust again. Sang-woo discovered that his condition, while not cured, was manageable when Alma was in his life. Not just her presence, but knowing she was there, knowing he was loved, knowing he had something to fight for. It's not about me being your cure, Alma told him one evening. It's about you feeling safe enough to be at peace. I can help with that, but you have to do the work too. I know. Do you? Because I can't be your only source of stability. That's not fair to either of us. I'm learning, he said. The therapy helps. Having purpose helps. But you. He took her hand. You make it all worth it. You make me want to be better. I see you trying, Alma said one night, 6 months into their reconciliation. They were sitting on his balcony, watching Seoul's lights glitter below. I'm still scared. That's okay. He took her hand. I'll wait as long as you need. What if it takes forever? He smiled, that real smile she'd first seen in the hospital, a lifetime ago. Then forever sounds perfect. Sunset on the Han River. Private boat. Just them. Sang-woo had been nervous all day, Alma could tell. The way he kept touching his pocket. The way he'd chosen this specific spot, this specific time. "You're being weird," she told him, smiling. "I know. I'm sorry. He took a breath. "I need to say something." He knelt for the second time in their relationship. But this time, there was no rain. No desperation. No begging for forgiveness. Just peace. "I'm still a mafia boss," he said, pulling a ring box from his pocket. "My world is still dangerous. I still have enemies. I'll probably never be a normal husband. There will be threats, and fear, and nights when I have to do terrible things. I know who you are. And I know who you are." His voice was steady. "You're the woman who saw me when no one else could. Who stood in front of a monster and saw a man in pain. Who loved me even when I didn't deserve it." He opened the box. The ring inside was perfect. Korean and Ghanaian design elements merged into something new and beautiful. "Be my wife. Not as my cure, as my partner. Let me spend the rest of my life loving you the way you deserve." Alma looked at the ring. Felt her grandmother's words echo one last time. "You'll meet someone the world has given up on. And you'll see what no one else can see." She'd seen him. All of him, the darkness and the light. And she chose him anyway. Yes. One word. A lifetime of meaning. 1 year later. The wedding was legendary. Held at Sangwoo's private estate, it blended Korean and Ghanaian traditions in perfect harmony. Alma wore white lace and Kent cloth. Sangwoo wore a traditional hanbok with Ghanaian Kent accents. Both families attended, her parents crying with joy, his brother standing as best man with tears he pretended were allergies. When Sangwoo said his vows, his voice didn't waver. "You are my cure. My peace. My home. I spent years in darkness, believing I was cursed. But I wasn't cursed, I was waiting. Waiting for you. Every breath I take, every day I'm given, is yours." Alma's vows were simpler. "I see all of you. The dragon of Gangnam and the man who learned to love. The darkness and the light. I choose both. Today, tomorrow, forever." The celebration lasted until dawn. 2 years later. Their daughter had Alma's warm brown skin and Sangwoo's intense eyes. She slept between them in the early morning light, tiny fingers wrapped around her father's thumb. Sangwoo watched her breathe, still amazed that something so perfect could exist. "Do you ever regret it?" Alma whispered. "Choosing someone so different?" Sangwoo kissed her forehead. "I spent years searching for satisfaction with all the wrong people. Trying to fill a void with money, power, violence, sex. Nothing worked." He smiled. "Turns out I wasn't looking for satisfaction at all." "What were you looking for?" "You." He pulled her closer, their daughter safe between them. "I was looking for you." Outside, Seoul glittered in the early light. Inside, there was only peace. True love doesn't just heal wounds, it makes them meaningful. If this story moved you, you'll love what's coming next week. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. And I'll see you there.